Welcome to NetOp Level 1 Tech Support Training. To begin with, we're going to go ahead and show you how to install and configure classes and go through some of the configuration options for Vision. So we're launching the executable-based installation here. As you can see, it's asking for elevated UIC rights. On this screen, you're going to have the option to do the installation now or to create an MSI for doing remote installation. So when you get here, you have to agree to the licensing terms. And then you have the option to pick between a teacher or the student module. Here you'll either enter your license key, which point you'll be licensed for the duration of what your license entitles you to, or you can leave it blank for a 30-day unrestricted trial. On this screen, you pick the path and whether you want to have a password. If you require a password, whenever you launch Vision, it's going to ask you to insert your password or it will not continue, which is a way to have some added security so the students can't get on your machine, for example, and then access other students. So at this point, you're going to have to restart the machine for Vision to function correctly. We do not advise unchecking the option. So this is the screen that you see when you very first launch Vision. In the situation where you're not licensed, you're going to get this demo screen. Then once you clear that, it's going to immediately ask you if you'd like to set up your classrooms. We're going to go ahead and do that. So on this screen, you hit Next. Here's where it allows you to browse to computers. On this screen, it's possible for this to be blank. Microsoft did an update to Windows 10 version 17.09. That version disabled the feature that we were using on this by default, and we have some documentation in the supplemental materials you'll be receiving. If you cannot see a computer in this list, you can manually add the name by clicking the Add button and then typing it in the input box that you see here. Frequently, you're going to have to do that on Windows 10 computers because of that thing that Microsoft disabled. Once you've added all the computers to your classroom, you're able to check this box and then start the remote installation. Again, it requires elevated rights to save the global classroom. So now you can see the wizard that we're running. Here's where you can insert your username. Again, if you want to use a domain name other than the one that you're logged in as, you'll need to fully qualify that. So on this screen, I've deliberately set it up so these students are not going to install correctly, so that I can show you kind of how it behaves. So as you can see with several computers, it takes a little while for this to time out. Once it has timed out, however, the View Installation Log option will enable, and then you're able to click on that, as you'll see in a moment, and it's going to give you some information about why the remote install failed. Of course, if it succeeds, there won't be an installation log because you don't need the information if it's not failing. So in here, you're going to see the most common two errors. So the first one is access denied, which I've selected here. That means that it's unable to access the student station to copy over the installation. And then the other one you see a bunch is the RPC server is unavailable, at which point it's unable to connect the machine at all. Either the machine's offline or perhaps it's not in service, or file and print sharing isn't enabled. Sometimes it's a firewall, that kind of thing. Those are the most common things that you run into. All right, so the screen you see here is what we call the Vision dashboard. It has a number of different functions for Vision, which we'll be discussing in another video. So from here, here's where you can also go in and after the fact and create a classroom. So in here, you have the option for what you want to name the classroom, whether it's open enrollment, which again, the students choose which teacher to connect to. Which is all broadcast based. So the teacher broadcasts a classroom's availability out. Students have the option to join it. You can make the classroom global or not. Global just means that anyone who logs into the machine will be able to see it. Or if it's a personal classroom, only you can see it. Global classrooms require admin rights to activate. Additionally, at the bottom, you saw an option that's allowing you to choose whether it's your default classroom or not. The default classroom is what it automatically connects to on startup. So here on this screen again, you're able to choose which students you want to add to your class. I'm just adding the students that are actually connected. And you hit next, finish. Again, it requires admin rights if you're editing a global classroom. And then you're able to open that class. This screen lets you configure a number of options for the connectivity in your classroom. So you can choose whether it's open enrollment or a standard classroom, and then what to do if another teacher tries to connect to you, to one of your students, when they click the student and select the join option in the administration tab. You can either have it automatically accept the request, at which point it'll transfer the student to the other teacher, automatically deny, or prompt you for permission. The one note you want to have about the prompt is if you're doing anything else in another window, it will not be brought to the foreground, so the teacher may not see it. Additionally, you have the ability to import and export the classes here so that you can share them with other teachers.